So this is my kitchen here, and here I used to have cabinet, and the problem here is that the tile here, it tile around the cabinet. Okay, so as a result, there was really a gap here, which was the depth here, it was 3/4 of an inch. Not 3/4 of an inch, it was one inch actually. So I put here a plywood, as you can see here, 3/4 of an inch, but I still have 1/4 of an inch to fill up to actually level it with the floor. The reason is that I have here, in this place, a dishwasher, okay, that was 1 inch below the floor, and on top of it there was a granite, so I couldn't remove it. The only way to remove it was to remove the granite. But at the same time, I took opportunity to remodel my kitchen because the kitchen was very old and the cabinet was broken. So I removed everything here, and I decided to level the floor, because you really want to level the floor when you put especially dishwasher and stuff. If you have a granite on top of it, countertop, unfortunately you won't be able to remove it under certain situation, okay? And it also look better, that everything is the same level. So what I want to do now, I really want to clean it nicely with a vacuum cleaner, and I want to actually level the floor with self-leveling. Okay, so that's what I want to do. But before you have to level the floor, you have to put a primer and wait for at least 3 hours until the primer is actually dry. That's important. That's what I want to show you how I'm going to do it. And before I'm going to apply the primer on the plywood, just want to show you that I sealed all this area here around with foam. Okay, and some of them I use self-leveling sealer here and a foam. So just let you see. That's to avoid the self-leveling to go into these holes, and just we will spend a lot of self-leveling. So we just want the self-leveling to go over the floor, okay? And by the way, this is a self-leveling sealer that we use, cement that we use really on concrete, driveway concrete when you have a hole or crack, so to seal it. So that's worked perfectly here, as you can see. But here we're going to use different self-leveling, and that's one thing. And here is another area that I did the same thing using here, as you can see, foam all over. Okay, so our goal is to actually self-level this area here where is the plywood, to be with the same level of the floor here, of the tile floor, in which we can do after that, we can actually put the cabinet and the dishwasher here in the same level as the floor. So if you have any issue after you put the granite, we can remove and we can put it back with no issue. So this is the primer I'm using. It's called primer TMK. As you can see here, this is the date, which means this digit here that you can see, the 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th digit I give you 9. That's meaning 2019, okay? And there is J, and 1 is the month. So remember, this primer life, I think, is 2 years, so it should not be expired. Okay, now when I'm going to apply this primer, because this is not porous, I don't need to dilute it with water. Should actually not dilute it, so I can use only this, what you have here, the content. I just mix it a little bit, shake it to make everything is good, and I'm going to apply it with a roller, 3/8 of an inch roller. That's what I want to show you. For here, the primer T that I'm using here, no need to dilute this primer with water. I'm using 3/8, okay, 3/8 of an inch a roller. I just put the roller inside here, as you can see, and I'm applying the primer on the plywood. As you can see here, only 1 coat of primer is needed. Here, and apply it here. I have to open the window because it's all over. Smell like polymer. I'm manually applying the primer on the plywood just to make sure it's evenly spread on the plywood. So that's it. So I just want to show you from close proximity the result. By the way, this is the foam I use here. You can see to seal the area here. What I want to show you here, the way after I apply the primer, that's the way it looks. Okay, with the primer actually creating some kind of a layer between the plywood and the self-leveling. So the self-leveling attached to it, I think for 2000 psi eventually after a month or two. That's the way it's here, and there is a recommendation to put also a mesh, a metal mesh, but I really don't need it here because nobody going to work on it. I just put in cabinet on that, so I don't have any problem. So that's what the manufacturer said, and I'll actually follow the manufacturer. So now we have to wait for 2 to 3 hours until it will dry, and believe me, it dry quite faster here. So here I prepared this self-leveling. That is the easy self-leveling from the pay. And what I'm doing, I actually just pour it here on the center. Okay, let's let them move. So what I'm doing now, I'm actually taking this float, okay, that I have, and I'm just starting moving it. You have to help him to move because he doesn't move by himself. Okay. So I put it here and put it here. Just move it. I probably need more material. As you can see, I need a little bit more material here. First thing, so I probably need a little bit of, I believe like 6 pounds of material here, as you can see, a little bit more. Let me prepare more. So I actually have a little bit more material here. Okay, now I'm just going to put it, to pour it here, because it's missing really here. Let's look good, and a little bit here also. So I just started with floating. After I put more compound, I'm using a floating here in order to move the compound around and make it self-level. So here it's perfect. Here it's another place I actually put it. What I'm doing, I'm actually just using this floor just to let this substance moving, okay, and it will level himself. Okay, here I actually finish. Okay, so here is the result. Okay, if you can look at it from close proximity, what you can see here, you can see how level it become with the tile. Okay, maybe it's down 1 divided by 32, I believe, or in other language maybe a 1 millimeter, even less than that. below the time, which is okay and acceptable. Okay, and so now we have a flat and level floor, as you can see here, that is level with the tile floor, and we can put a dishwasher with no issue, and also cabinet. In addition, you're not going to have any more void space that water will penetrate there, create mold and mildew, and also destroy the cabinet legs. Here is the other place here, as you can see, same thing. I actually use 28 pound, 29 pound really, and for 16 square feet, and the depth was a quarter of an inch, so I'm quite happy with the result. Mepe is an excellent product really. Just remember to put a T-primer before and make sure the T-primer is not expired. So that's it, that's the end of the demonstration, and I hope you're going to do it by yourself. Thank you for watching this video.